Hey everybody, Richter Knives, favorite knife tuber, episode number 88. Today I'm coming to you straight from Texas, and what I want to talk about is the knives that have gotten away and came back. We're talking about the prodigals today, and I'm going to show you a couple that I got. So there's stories behind every single one of these dudes. Sometimes you'll fall in love with the knife and not even know it. You know what I'm saying? And when you finally get rid of it, that's when you realize, man, what is wrong with me? And you end up trying to get that old thing back. Well, that's what I'm going to show you today. The ones that got away and came back. So there's quite a few that got away that I ain't got back yet, but these are the ones I got back. So let's start off with the Lord's drink. Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, of course. Spicy. Praise the Lord. Let's check it out. First one, I'm going to show you the slips they're into. This is a slip made by Joe from Messer HQ. And this one has, the reason I put it in this slip is because he made the slip and I ended up trading him. What did I trade him? Traded him, I think, this knife and something else. I don't remember. He'll tell you, or he could tell you. I think it had something to do with the GEC. I traded this away. This is my case. Copper lock, Wharncliffe. Ooh, fancy schmancy. And the reason that we're talking about this is because this was the first knife I bought after I retired my trapper that I carried for years, and that was the only knife I carried. Then when I finally retired it, I went on this mission to find the best knife for me. I watched all these videos. I read stuff about it. I looked at pictures. A lot of videos, man. That's how I started getting into knives, because I was looking for this thing. Anywho's, I had a big problem because everything I seen I wanted, but I finally decided on this one and a tribal lock. It was a yellow burnt oatmeal covers tribal lock. So I bought those two at the same time. I'm like, I'm gonna have them both because I can't decide. Well, this knife right here, I loved it. Used it for leather, all the good stuff. But you could see why that, I wanted this thing. I traded it to Joe, and he showed it on his YouTube channel, and I thought, dude, this is cool. My old knife is on his channel, and he's reviewing it. And I thought, that was pretty cool. And me and Joe got to be really good friends. So I know how much he loved the knife, so I never did ask back for it. Hey, trade me back this. I knew he loved it. So what I did is I went and got me another, a purple one. I got an orange one. Lord, I got a black one. Never did, take the place in my heart. Ended up, I finally found one of these, snatched it, because I had to have it back. This thing is awesome. It's a lockback, and the Wharncliffe, listen, it's snappy. Snappilation. Listen. For a lockback, that's pretty sweet. And I gotta tell you, that Wharncliffe blade, you could do a day's work with that bad boy. I like everything about this. It is stainless steel, but it doesn't matter to me. This is y'all know I'm a Teeners feller, but this is just too gorgeous. The bone, it's the main reason I think I like it. It's called burnt indigo. Burnt indigo. It's got some blues, some greens, some yellows, some schnozberries, all that stuff. Anywho, love this one. I'm glad I got it back. It's never going nowhere again. It's staying right here with me. I'm gonna put it in the slip that Joe made me, and that's gonna stay with me too. I think it's pretty cool. Joe actually is making leather, and I started him on it. I talked him into it. He's like, no, I can't do that. I was like, no, yeah, you can, dude. Go buy this, and go do it, man. I'll help you. So he ended up, man, he makes just good leather as I do. Man, look at them edges. Really good. Great job, Joe. It's a good looking slip, and I like the logo too, the stamp. Sweet. So I'll keep that in there. Next knife, y'all seen it before, is the number 85 beaver. Now I'll show you the slip first. A lot of new people to my channel haven't seen this. I've been getting a lot more subscribers, so maybe you haven't seen this yet. This, my friend Jonathan Roberts made for me, and he pretty much showed me everything there is to know about leather that I know. Anyway, he showed me everything he knows, everything I know. But I asked him to make me a slip for my beaver, my 85 beaver tail. And can you match it better? I don't know about that. If you could see the details of this thing, and I wish it would focus. I got it front facing, so it may not, but look, I mean, every little blade of grass, oh man, the paint, everything on this is just insane. I love this. It fits perfect. I mean, it tucks down right in there. It's thin, and the back of it is like a beaver tail. See, that's fancy. I love carrying this knife. Anywho, so this knife I did a trade for. This knife and a Viper. Okay, I traded for it. I traded 11,000 case knives. Not that many. I didn't have that many, but I've traded a lot of case knives, some leather. I can't remember what else. Oh, and 2 GCs for this one and a Viper. And it was a big trade to me. I'm like, oh God, I finally got this. Well, the Viper, I was like all over. That was my first Viper, my first 85 beaver tail. And those were my first two, not my first two. I had a 56 and a 78, and I traded those both, my first 2 GCs, for these. So I had this and the Viper. The guy got to missing the beaver. He's like, man, I really miss it. I think we ought to trade back. And as bad as I hated to, I went on ahead and did it. You know, I guess that was the right thing to do. Help me sleep at night and whatnot. And I'd sent it back to him, and I went years and years and years without getting this. Finally, this is the knife that I probably spent the most on. I finally had used some bonus money from work, and I got a pretty good bonus, and I was like, I'm gonna get the knife I want. I got 2 knives from that bonus, and I got this one and something else. I don't remember what it was. It might have been the Johnny on the Spot. I think so. Anywho, this beaver tail, look at the teeners. She's natural. Done that all by itself. But the wood, the cherry wood, the jig, everything about this knife. There ain't a gap. Straight down the middle strike, centering. Oh man, I love this knife. The snap, half stop. So it took me years. I'm talking years. This is a 2016, I think. Let me see. 2018. I'm wrong. 2018 to 2023. It took me to get this one back. And I love it. So when I knew I was getting it back, before I even got the knife, I told Jonathan, I was like, I need a slip. And I said, just make it a beaver on there. I gave him some beaver ideas and whatnot. He come up with this, exceeded my expectations. So there's that one. I told you a while ago that when I first got in the knives, I was looking at all these videos, and I got the tribal lock and the copper lock. Well, I traded the tribal lock because I'm an idiot, and I've never seen another one like it. It was a yellow burnt oatmeal, I believe the covers were called. I don't remember. So, and then I ended up missing it. I do that all the time. Don't you do that? So I tried to find me another one. Couldn't find one. So I ended up getting the Whiskey Bone CV. Wasn't for me. I ended up trading that for some Arkansas stones. What else? I got another one too. I don't remember what it was. A yellow one? I know. I don't remember. I got another one. I can't remember what it was. Oh, here's my slip. I made this slip. This is the R slip in Pueblo, brown Pueblo leather. And I was looking on, what do you call it? GEC, no, slip joint. Oh my God, exchange. Slip joint exchange on Facebook. I was looking on there and I seen this. And it was a lot prettier in the picture. But it's stabilized walnut recover of a black Delrin case tribal lock. And when I seen this, there's a guy named Paul. He's my friend now. And my friendship started when we traded for this knife. I traded something for it. I think it was a case copperhead. That's a good one too, CV. But we traded. And I ended up getting this tribal lock. And I want you to feast your peepers right there. This thing is probably the best looking tribal lock that I've ever seen. And I'm proud to own it. It's got the tenors because it has that CV steel. These bolsters tenor up really good as well. But I was happy to have the band back together. Had my copper lock and my tribal lock. Now it's not the same covers as the other one, but this is better. I didn't think that was possible, but the stabilized wood, the walnut, is, I wish you could see the grain, the spots in it, whatnot. I'm glad this one's back. It's never going nowhere. Don't ask me to buy it. Don't ask me to trade it. She's staying right here in this slip, going in my pocket. I'm gonna use it on up. So, love this one. Next, this one, I sold. This is a saw cut slip, and it's got something saw cut in it. Let's see. It has this right here. This is a Oldtimer 94 OT with the spade blade. And she's got a clip right here too. But I had one of these when I was 5 years old. It was my very first knife. And later on, I knew that I wanted another one. That was a couple years ago, and I got one. It was kind of messed up and had to refresh it and restore it and clean it up and sharpen it and all that stuff. And I love that knife. And I ended up, one of my friends from church, J.D. Cooley, one of the best men ever walked this face of this earth. He didn't have a pocket knife. And he asked me something about, do you know where I can get me a good pocket knife? He said, I like the old kind, you know. And I was like, I think I got you. I come back and I put that knife in his hand and I said, this is yours, my friend. And he loves it. He loves it to death. He's like, I can't believe that. That's the one I wanted. And I know it wasn't cheap. And buddy, if you're going to get a good one, they ain't cheap. You go on there to the Evil Bays and money. Anyways, I love this knife. Brings back memories when I was a kid, toting that thing. I even towed it to kindergarten, man. I ain't kidding around. Back then, they didn't care. This one, a buddy of mine made me this slip. That's a good looking slip, you ask me. Look at the stitching on that old dude. Yep. Very good looking slip. What's in here? It's this mini trapper. I bought this at the local hardware store. And at that hardware store, it's about a mile that way. I looked in that case and I seen this old boy, and this is stainless as well, but I want you to put your eyes on that bone and that Warncliffe and that shield and that saw cut. The saw cut's going Yahweh this way and Yahweh that way. Look. Let me get my hands out of the crazy way. Look at that. It's the prettiest mini trapper I ever seen. So what happened here is I needed money for another knife, and I was in the, you know, I had my my brain set on another knife, and I want to say it was Benchmade or something like that. So I sold it to my buddy at work, and he still works with me. This was years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And I showed it to him at work. He's like, he's like, how much you want for that? So I sold it to him. And then one day this year, I think I made a video of this. One day this year, he brought it to work. He's like, remember this? And I said, oh, now I do. How much you want for that? I want it back. So he gave me a price. I slapped it in his hand, and I got my knife back. And I'm gonna keep it this time, because that is legit the prettiest mini trapper I ever seen. They ever did make. Now Case is probably crying right now because they let it come out the factory. I'm telling you, it is beautiful. Insane. I'm losing light. I gotta keep on moving. Now we come to the finale. This one, no, I got one more before the finale. This one right here, this is a slip from my bro Lynch, Justin over there, Lynch. And this is a Ghostler slip, and it is sweet. Look at all the teeners on that slip. And it's got this in it. My friend Jesse bought me this knife. I ain't gonna say he bought it for me. He gave me this knife. And this is one that was my EDC Air Day. And I ended up trading it for a better looking version, I thought, because it was fancier. And it had the fancy wood and shiny and long pull in the swedge, which was a nice knife. But it was this right here. It was my everyday carry. And this right here is one of the most, how do you say it, useful pocket knives, slip joints that I've ever used. It's, you know, any way you hold it, it's ready to go. It's got a good snap too. Listen. And it's about a 7 pull, but it like jumps to that half stop, and it jumps every time you shut it and open it. And it could use a little oil right now, I could tell. It's got the satin bolsters. It ain't shiny-fied. It's got the satin shield, the hot dog shield. Y'all know I like the hot dog shield. Yep, she's got the teeners too. Looky there. She earned them. Micarta, natural micarta. And man, this feels good in your hand. It looks too thin at first, but it's really not. It's not thin at all. It gives you a good, feels your hand. It's got that natural choil right there. You can just put your finger there, choke up, and whew. Excuse me. I love this knife. It ain't going nowhere now. I should have never got rid of it to begin with, and I'm starting to learn, fellers, that these knives that I love, stop getting rid of them. You're gonna miss them. They're hard to get back. This one right here is the last one. I did have a 74, and it was a 2000, I believe, 17, and they only made 38 of these things. It's a GC, and I told you when I was sitting in that car at Sonic in my last video about this knife, and I was gonna show it to you. I got rid of my Chris Reeve. Just wasn't for me. I mean, I may get another Chris Reeve in the future, but it just wasn't for me. My thumb like fell flat off, and it shouldn't, you know, I'm done with it. So there's a couple of reasons for that, but I seen this knife. It was either on the GECC page on Facebook or the Slip Joint Exchange, and I seen the knife, and I knew as soon as I seen it, I'm like, God, I know they posted that thing, and I know somebody's done bought it already. There's no way that somebody hadn't bought this thing. So I looked in the comments real quick. I hit it. I didn't see nowhere nobody said PM'd you, I'll take it, none of that stuff. So I was like, whoa, I ain't got no money for this thing. I really didn't. I had no money. And I'm like, well, I got a little bit of money, but not enough. And it was for a high price. And I was like, well, ooh, what am I gonna do? And I looked down, and I had that Sabenza sitting right there, and I said, let's try. So I messaged old boy. I said, hey, you want to trade? I showed him pictures. And I went through, and he's going to miss this thing too, because I know it took me a minute to get him convinced about it. And he, I guess we messaged for, I don't know, at the end of the night until the next day. And finally, he's like, let's do the trade. So I'm like, what's your PayPal, bro? And then we traded. I gave him, what was it? A slip, just to throw it in there, just to make sure I got it. You know what I mean? I gave him a couple dollars more. Because I overpaid for this thing, but there's only 38 of them. I ain't never gonna get another one. Don't yell at me. It's my life. That's what I got. I made this grid slip. This is a grid leather slip, and she's got the blue, yep, stitching. Let me show you what's in here. I got it back. Oh, I got it back. $74. This is the Stallion. Woo! They got a Mustang with the drop point. This is the Stallion. She's got 3 flutings things on the bolster. The brass pins. This is a natural bone. Natural bone. Smooth natural bone. And they've kind of got it like, you know, like a natural stag, where it's kind of uneven in places on purpose. I don't know if you can see that. It's centered right on down the middle. Oh, let me get there. Yeah, right down the middle. This thing is gorgeous. Yellow tint to it, this natural bone. It's got dark spots, light spots. It's got this kind of like a different texture right here. But look at this thing. Open. My goodness. I got fingerprints all that. That's fine. I'm going to use it. This is not going to be in my safe or in my gun cabinet or in my drawer. This is going to be in my pocket. I'm going to use it. This one's the only one I ain't used. Oh, wait. No, I got an 86 that I haven't used yet, but I want to make a video on it before I use it, because I want y'all to see it, how pretty it is. Brand spanking new without the Tieners. And that might be my next video. One of my next videos. Anywho's, I want you to just put your peepers on that. I got it back. Got it back. Love this thing. So, we're going to put this back. I want to get a drink of the Lord's drink, because I'm parched. Don't be jealous. They sell them at the store, at the Dollar General, whatever. So, that's all my knives that have gone away and come back. All my prodigals. I hope you liked that video. If you liked that video, make sure you share it, like it, and hit the subscribe button. It's that little red one down there. Tell your friends, tell your mom and them. Tell your crush and your barber about Richter knives. Hey, it's Richter with all my prodigal knives. Out.